tribes. Okay, poverty.
HIV, AIDS.
Okay, third world.
Jungle.
An important reason to study Africa is to diminish the use and misuse of African stereotypes. It is human nature to stereotype people, and that we are biologically hardwired to do so. With that being said, it is still very important that we take a step back and evaluate where these stereotypes come from. Leftover racism from colonial times is one place our current stereotypes come from. Although the United States never ruled colonies in Africa, Americans did enslave Africans and maintain both a slavery system and segregation. Moreover, we profited from our business in Africa, sent missionaries to change African culture, and did not protest the colonization undertaken by Europeans. Because Americans have always known Africans as being people of slavery, it is difficult to get that image out of our heads and make room for new African people. Our culture had a lot of years of practice, hundreds of years of it, in constructing Africa as inferior. The legacy is obvious in the words and ideas we call to mind when we hear the word Africa. Although Americans have leftover racism from past days of slavery, it is still possible that there is current racism that is making it so hard to change people's minds about Africa. After the Civil Rights Movement, it has become unacceptable to use racist and derogatory terms towards black people in public. However, many people still practice private racism, whether intentional or unintentional.
People use social media as a learning source of almost everything. At a young age, we are introduced to television by watching children movies. There are movies that take place in Africa, such as George of the Jungle and Tarzan, that show ferocious animals, evil genies, and hungry cannibals. As children grow up and no longer watch cartoons, shows they do watch, such as National Geographic, show Africa as only animals and poachers, which is promoting the survival of the fittest ideal in Africa. This is completely inaccurate. In truth, many Africans do not deal with wild animals. They live in cities. It is not always bad being shown the safari part of Africa, as it is majestic, but is not the whole truth of Africa. The print media is also biased. Africa is rarely mentioned because the general public does not seem to have a huge interest in the continent. When there is coverage, it is only available for a short period of time before it is gone. If we further study Africa, it will become a domino effect, and slowly all these portals of media will take a hold of the real truth and knowledge of Africa, and that is why it is important to study Africa, and really why Africa is worth being studied.
Now, getting a better look into the truth about Africa and its history, it is easy to feel the need to study Africa equally. We know that Africa is very rich in culture and history, and it has had a major influence on the world today. If Africa is equally studied, then we would learn more about how wrong the perspectives we have of Africa are, and how to change our negative perspectives into positive views of Africa.
Historic.
Cultural.
Diverse.
Spiritual religious.